Hey, Jalen, congratulations. You and Jaxie did amazing at Perry, Georgia for the holiday. Let me fix something here. I had it in slow motion. What I want to do is start her first stride coming into the arena. Whoop, a little further back than that. Okay, so I'm going to move this one up just a tick. There we go. And then this one just, too much. I have to slow it down to fix it. Okay. So anyways, let me start fresh here. I thought I had it figured out when I started. Okay. So you did awesome at Perry, Georgia. You were in the 1D in the black shirt on the right. You were in the 2D on the left. So I'm going to let them both go through together now in fast as I talk about how you did. So again, I started them both at the back of the alleyway. And you did some smart things. You from back around March, you were having some troubles, maybe not straight lines or blowing out a third barrel, things like that. So you took a couple weeks, went back to basics, got her tuned up, made sure she was feeling good, and then you came back and went to this super show in Perry, Georgia, and did amazing. So let me say, in purple shirt on the left, a 15.394 is what you ran. A 14.8 won the open and the youth. You placed 2D 17th in the open, 2D 4th in the youth, and they had a lot of entries. I don't know how many for sure. You can see she will be clicking her shoe off going into that second barrel on the left, and it was a little scary seeing her trip like that, but you recovered nicely from it. And then you're only a 10th difference in the black shirt here. You not rocked that barrel, but you didn't knock it. On the black shirt, you end up running a 10th faster. On Sunday, a 15.2. That puts you with a 14.7 winning the open in the youth. Put you 1D 27th in the open and 1D 15th in the youth. So only a 10th difference, so just a tick quicker, a little more fire on the right. So let's go through these in slow motion, and I think actually the videos do that for us. So I'm going to speed them back up, and you can see the lady goes to check for your shoe. And then they're not exactly at the same time here, so I'm going to put them both in the same spot. Right there looks good. And then I'm going to start them back in. So since they have it in slow motion, I'm just going to go with it. But you're sitting forward here and nice two hands. I thought you rode smart. This is a short score for Youth World, those of you going in July or those of you in Open World in October. I liked your hand timing when you went to the horn. You bumped her with your little one-hand bumps back towards the horn. That really made her think about rate. You had consistent arc as you're approaching the barrel. You can see you have at least 10 feet for an arc because her first stride of rate, her tail's more towards the second barrel. And then your second stride of rate, you're at spot 1, about a 2-foot pocket. So she takes a little more pocket behind it, and you had to sit forward in the black shirt. She gets a little bit more strung out behind it in the purple shirt. So, and that's because your spot 1 was not quite 3 feet. So she just took it behind it, which is fine. You still set your pivot foot and you pulled up on the horn. You left prettier in the purple shirt. You were kind of behind her a little bit in the black shirt, but your line was really straight. You got back to 2 hands. Jaxie's such a nice mare. She stands up front and back feet square. And you look in between your ears pretty nicely. Your shoulders and hips, biomechanically speaking, are nice and square at this point. And then she rates 1. She trips on that darn shoe. Boy, that was scary on the left. And then rate 2. I guess she came out with a bent or no shoe. That's probably why that lady was checking for it. And then you can see she's a little bit ahead on the left. So that bent shoe cost you some time. So in and out in 2 strides. You sat back really good on the exit on their pivot spot, which really helped her finish her turn. And you're starting to look better too. You're starting to look at your spots better. So when you get between spot 2 and 3, you looked up. And a little late. I'd still like to see you look up sooner. Like you're kind of looking where she's going instead of where you want to go. So when you get right here with her, you can look up, okay? And then that's going to help her leave nice and straight. And then you did a good job here getting back to 2 hands again. I love how you're one-handed letting her run out of the turn. So as you go back to 2 hands, she's a sensitive mare, so she swaps to the outside lead. But then she comes back inside. You did a 2-hand bump to work on her rate and keep her straighter longer. That inside rein might have got you in a little bit of trouble because she turns at her shoulder on the right versus she was at your leg at the barrel on the left. So I think 2 hands longer, and don't look down her neck, because see the difference here? You're riding more square on the left and you look down more on the right. So you bumped her 1 hand instead of 2 hand, and she went in with her shoulder. So you got to be careful with 1 hand bumps, because it can cause them to get in tight with the shoulder. But it's quick. You used your inside hip to finish your turn nicely. You pull up on the horn, rein to the ears. You rocked it but didn't knock it, so that's all that matters. And then running home, there's only a 1/10 difference. You get back to the timer a little bit quicker in the black shirt than the purple shirt. But overall, beautiful runs. And I'm proud of you for, one, going back to basics, and slowing things down, getting things right, getting your horse tuned up, and then making sure she feels her best, and then going in there and doing a great job. So keep up the good work. Again, I would be more focused on being smooth with the 2 hands. Let's see, for some reason we're out of sync again. That's just where they started it at. But I'd be a little smoother with the 2 hands. There we go. It's not exactly even right now, but just kind of looking at the 2 barrels. I think the 1 hand bumps, you got to be careful. First barrel, not a problem, because she's more stands up on those. But the left turns, try to go 2 hands. If you have to rate her to third, do a 2 hand bump instead of a 1 hand bump, I think would be safer. Plus, it'll put her on her butt. But you had really good fire on that purple shirt. Just had a little bad tough luck with the bench shoe on the second, but otherwise, what an awesome run. You guys did great. So I'm going to add you to personal best, because that was amazing. 1D at a Perry Super Show for 4th of July is always worthy of a personal best. So congratulations and great job.